Welcome everyone to the AT&T Bricktown Ballpark in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, home of the 2009 Big 12 Baseball Championships. George Watson, Zach Long with the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal, and Mr. Watson, for the first time since 2006, the Texas Tech Red Raiders are back in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, Zach, it's great to be back here in Oklahoma City side of the Big 12 tournament. Tech hadn't been here since 2006. It's been a long wait, but I know a lot of these guys are anxious to get going, and it just feels good to be back in this venue. This is one of the most enjoyable venues for a baseball tournament you could ever ask for, and it's just a great time and a great place to be here in Oklahoma City.
All right, yeah, the weather's gorgeous out right now, and behind us, the Missouri Tigers are actually practicing right now. All 8 teams in this tournament practice today. Earlier today, about 11 a.m., the Texas Tech Red Raiders practice, and we caught up with Chris Richburg, A.J. Ramos, and Willie Retta, and here's what they had to say.
Oh, it means a lot. Last time we came here, I was a freshman. I didn't get to pitch at all, and coming back here and be able to pitch again, or actually pitch in this tournament, it's a great feeling. Knowing that the game's kind of on my shoulders, I like that feeling, like that responsibility, and hopefully I can go out there and do my best. And I know I'm gonna do my best, but hopefully I can go out there and get the win.
We hadn't been here for 2 years, and I think we're just more hungry just to get back here.
I've said before, and we this program expects to be here every year, and us not being in the last 2 years really kind of took on a toll us, on the guys who've been here. So for us to be able to do the things we needed to do during conference and to get back here is huge for all of us.
And George Watson, the name of the game in Big 12 baseball is bracket play in this tournament. The Texas Tech Red Raiders, they're teamed up with a consensus top 10 team in the Oklahoma Sooners, the Missouri Tigers, and the Texas A&M Aggies. And right now, there's just no easy way around it. You're going to have to put your money where your mouth is in this tournament.
Yeah, it's like what was said at the luncheon today. They would hate to be in the other bracket with Kansas, Kansas State, Texas, and Baylor. So yeah, there is no easy draw. It's pool play here in the first round. The winners of the 2 pools survive. They play in the championship on Sunday at 1. And so yeah, I've seen it where you have 3 teams at the end of the pool play go 2-1, and you're down to tiebreakers. That's how big and that's how even it is. And the way that the conference has gone this year shouldn't be any difference. This conference has been absolutely bottlenecked from the day one, and I expect nothing less here in the Big 12 tournament. It's going to be fight and survive all the way through.
And task number 1 for the Red Raiders tomorrow night, the Oklahoma Sooners, ranked as high as number 8 in one of the polls today. And George, maybe arguably the toughest team right now in the conference. They're coming off a 3-game sweep of Texas A&M.
Yeah, a big weekend for the Sooners at home. They swept Texas A&M, like you said, and did it in pretty convincing fashion. And Texas Tech has to go against their ace and Andrew Doyle, who last time when Tech was in Norman, he blanked Texas Tech and shut them out. So it's not going to be an easy task for the Red Raiders facing Andrew Doyle. Basically another home game for the Sooners here, and they're going to have the crowd behind them.
And offensively, George, newly anointed, I guess we should say, Big 12 Player of the Year, J.T. Wise, the senior catcher transfer from LSU, having an outstanding season. Yeah,
a great story in J.T. Wise. Comes to OU a couple years ago after spending 2 years at LSU, basically out of position. He's played second base, didn't really feel comfortable, came to Oklahoma. He's been behind the plate. He played catcher last year, but he's really taken off this year. Second in the conference in the home runs with 17, about 70 RBIs, and hitting over 350. Just a phenomenal player. Very well deserved, and like the coaches at the luncheon said, complimented him not only on his offense but on his defense and his pitch calling, and really works the Oklahoma Sooner pitching staff very, very well during the game.
And a little bit earlier, we actually heard from Oklahoma head coach Sonny Galloway across the street at the media luncheon at the Mickey Mantle Steakhouse. Here's what Coach Galloway had to say.
A little about our team. We've got some guys we're extremely proud of. I look at JT and I look at Garrett. Garrett Bushell redshirted last year as he came in, just a 17-year-old freshman, and worked hard in the weight room. He kind of got to see what the Big 12 was all about. We're really looking forward to competing this weekend. Should be a great event.
And George, you talk about Texas Tech head coach Dan Spencer. You said there has to be foundations, there has to be a first step, and you got to consider this a big one, qualifying for this tournament in his first year at the helm.
Yeah, when you're down as far as Texas Tech was, you got to start somewhere, and that starting somewhere is making the Big 12 tournament, and they've done that. Exceeding expectations basically from everybody. But they were picked 8th in the conference to start the season. So when you come in as the 7th seed, you've exceeded expectations, and it's just obvious to see what kind of a difference Dan Spencer has made as the head coach of this program. The way the kids play, the way they fight for him, the way they care, the way they get emotional about things. It's just been an outstanding year, and like you said, this tournament right here is maybe the final block of the foundation for what they've been able to do here the first year.
And a little bit earlier, we heard from Coach Spencer and his thoughts on the Red Raiders' first trip to Oklahoma City since 2006.
I think our kids are excited. I think that we talked today about, one, I'm very proud of you being here, getting here, doing that. That's a great accomplishment. But let's make sure we don't play like we're just happy to be here. Let's get after it. Let's compete. that, you know, our goal now, we achieved the goal. Now our goal here, we're here. Our goal is to win it, and you know, that's what we have to look forward to, and that's how we're going to approach it, one day at a time, and see where we are at the end of the week.
Back at the Bricktown Ballpark in George, Texas Tech, they're going to counter Andrew Doyle tomorrow with A.J. Ramos on the mound.
Yeah, the ace of their own, A.J. Ramos, the ace of the Red Raider staff, was held out this weekend. He pitched a couple of innings in relief, but they wanted to make sure that they have him fresh for this Wednesday game because, let's face it, Texas Tech, to get to the NCAA, has to win this tournament, so you got to get off to a good start with A.J. Ramos. And I don't know of anybody else I'd want on the mound on this team right now than A.J., the way he is a competitor and the way he will battle you. I think Texas Tech is in very good hands for Wednesday night.
And George, you talk about getting off that start. Starts tomorrow night, 7:30 at the Bricktown Ballpark. The Oklahoma Sooners and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Be sure to check LubbockOnline.com and RedRaiders.com for a full wrap-up. For George Watson, I'm Zach Long of the Lubbock Avalanche-Journal.